Afrobrains Cameroon is an initiative. It's an African initiative. It's an initiative from the minds of Cameroonians that aims at addressing some of the greatest challenges of our times in the area of agriculture. The United Nations generally refers to lots of African, especially sub-Saharan African countries as being in hunger. Afrobrains has observed this and as part of its activities, decides to address the issue of food insecurity. It must be noted that Africa actually carries about 60% of the world's arable land, and of course, about 60% of the African population is made up of youths below the age of 25 years. What this means is that Africa has the required labor and affordable labor, I must say, and Africa also has the amount of arable land required to address its hunger situation. On the other hand, too, Africa is having a lot of very fertile and good climatic conditions, unlike other areas that are having lots of challenging climates. It is with this background that the Afrobrains initiative has come into existence. So, Afrobrains addresses food insecurity. It looks at the possibilities to also address the challenge of post-harvest loss. It must be noted that lots and lots of Africans do cultivate, but as a result of the fact that there are very limited or few technologies out there that help the farmers to transform the food that has been cultivated, what happens is that these foods get bad. Some of them, before getting to the market for distribution, before getting to the market for sales, they get bad. So Afrobrains is that initiative. It is that agribusiness initiative that looks at the possibilities, or that is setting up a system. Afrobrains is not just a business, it's not just an agribusiness. Afrobrains is a system in which these stakeholders, the people, especially in the rural communities, that cultivate the food that is consumed by both the rural communities and the urban communities, it is that system that connects these people and those that are involved in the distribution of these goods. That is basically what Afrobrains is about. Afrobrains collaborates with the local population, especially the women farming groups, and also collaborates with youths in agriculture to cultivate a variety of natural agricultural crops, and also to rear or in poultry farming. So this collaboration takes place for the cultivation, and when these plants and birds are ready for market, Afrobrains buys them and transforms them at its factory, and of course presents them into the market as finished products with longer shelf lives. So this is a very important aspect in Afrobrains activity, or activities, in that when the foods are transformed, it makes it preserves these foods and then reduces the waste that should have otherwise taken place. Afrobrains also, on the other hand, helps in the building of basic small machine-driven farm tools. These farm tools are designed and contextualized to help the farmers so that they can cultivate with relative ease. Remember that any investment in food transformation without a proportionate investment in food cultivation will only result in a lot of inactive periods in such transformation structures that are set up. So Afrobrains has been able to identify this and has decided to implement the approach of multi-product food transformation. What this means basically is that given that all the crops have a season for planting and a season to harvest, and these seasons of course do not coincide for all the crops. So what this means is that the Afrobrains transformation unit works around the year. So with the investment in cultivation through the local population, Afrobrains has equally been able to address a challenge, and that challenge is the constant land litigation issues that multinational companies used to face when they get into Africa for agriculture. So Afrobrains has indirectly been able to address this challenge by working with the local population, engaging the women in the rural communities to do the cultivation and then supply or feed the factory, the Afrobrains transformation unit, with the products so that for further conversion or further transformation. Afrobrains is also involved in training young people and encouraging young people in agriculture. Afrobrains makes agriculture interesting in the sense that we mechanize, we are able to produce those tools, those basic tools that help in encouraging young people, because young people are no longer interested in carrying out agriculture or food cultivation using the approach that our parents used to. So Afrobrains has decided to look at another approach by producing and training young people in the building of small farming tools. These farming tools help also to balance the speed of food production so that it can be able to equate the speed of food transformation. Afrobrains, on the other hand, is also engaged in provision of basic inputs like natural, I must insist here, that natural farm inputs. Afrobrains discourages the overuse of chemical fertilizers. So we have developed, over the years, other very environmentally friendly approaches to food enhancement, or the enhancement of the soil, so that the investment in food cultivation does not go wasted, so that food cultivation is not 100% dependent on nature, but human effect or human effort can also be able to improve the quality, quantity, and of course